So here we are at Warszawa Główna. Now, I think this is actually a very modern station. You can see how modern it looks. But the other reason I think it's very modern is because if I go over here, and I don't know if the camera will pick it up, these are the trains from this station today. So the next one is at 6 minutes past 3. So there's 1, 2, 3. There's only 4 trains running from this station. So I think this is a new station. And the reason I'm a little bit confused is because in many Polish cities, when you hear the name Główna, that's like the main station. But this isn't the main station for Warsaw. But it was obviously an old station which they're redeveloping, maybe bringing back into use. But then we have the old building here, Warszawa Główna. And just over there I can just make out the steam trains. So let's go and explore this museum. So this is the first hall that you enter into, and I've got a huge display of model trains. Now I must admit, this is far more impressive than I was expecting. These are beautifully made models, and there is an English description with them as well to explain what you're looking at. These are some beautifully built models of trains. Now, I said they did have English information on each of these exhibits. It's not true of all of them. For example, this rather interesting exhibit doesn't have any explanation in English on it, but obviously you can guess that it was probably from the Second World War or interwar period. So in here they have a display about the railway stations and the development of the architecture of railway stations, which I've not seen in the Railway Museum before. It's very interesting. So for example, there's a board here about the national style of railway stations, so that when Poland regained its independence, there was a concerted attempt to build a consistent style of railway stations across the country to sort of unify the country. So again, very interesting. Various little models here. Warsaw railway station. Station in modelling. Some old railway posters there. Probably doesn't do much justice on this video, but it's good. It's really interesting. Little interactive display here of the development of the railways over the years. So they've got another room here, again with more displays. Look at this fascinating locomotive. They even have a locomotive simulator here. I don't know if it corresponds to the image you're seeing on the screen or not, but you have to buy an extra ticket to go into this. That'd be quite fun though, wouldn't it? A proper train simulator. So once you come out of the exhibition halls, you can view some carriages and locomotives on the old station platform. There's quite a lot of hands-on interactive stuff, so if you're here with kids, they will love that. Of course, it's not as large or as impressive as the National Railway Museum in York, one of my favourite museums anywhere, but it is still worth coming to. Really enjoying this. Unfortunately, because these exhibits are being kept outside, they are open to the elements, so maybe not in quite as good a condition as you would like. But look at that armoured locomotive. That's impressive. So if you're into railways, trains, anything like that, then definitely worth making a visit to this museum. And it's not far from the centre. In fact, you can see the Palace of Culture and Sciences in the distance there. So it's very central. So lots of locomotives parked in the old railway sidings. As I say, some of them could do with a bit of TLC. One thing I had hoped to do when I was in Poland was to travel by steam train from Wolsztyn to Poznan, but unfortunately the steam train wasn't operating on the days that I was able to manage. So that's something to come back and do in the future. There are one or two preserved lines in Poland. Actually, the Wolsztyn to Poznan one isn't, it's just an ordinary route. But Poland doesn't have as many preserved lines as we do in the UK. The great thing about this location is you're right next to the station, and you got other trains running into the main central station, so not only can you look at these old locomotives, you can watch modern trains running past you all the time. I would like to see these locomotives being taken greater care of. Look at the one up here. Oh dear, that's in a very, very poor state. It's quite an impressive location though, as you look towards the city centre and the tower blocks, skyscrapers. So as I often do when I want to find out more information about something, I jump onto Google or increasingly ChatGPT now, and ChatGPT tells me that Warszawa Główna station, so that modern station behind me, is due to come fully into operation in about a year's time, towards the end of 2026. There are one or two regional trains already operating from there, but the station was abandoned in the late 1990s and was only recently brought back into use, and it will serve mostly regional trains but one or two national services as well. There's just so many trains, so many locomotives here. I do hope when that new station fully opens it will also encourage more people to visit this fantastic little museum. You can go on board one or two of the locomotives. also have some box cars here. Now they don't know the year of manufacture of these box cars, but these box cars, or box cars very similar to these, were used to transport the Jews and other victims of the Nazi regime to concentration camps. Now I don't know if this particular box car was used for that or not, but it's a possibility.